Hello friends, this is Harvey Mandan. Welcome to the Samsung Wave flashing guide. I'm going to show you how to flash your phone with an upgraded firmware in 10 simple steps. First of all, I will say this method has been used many times by me personally, many times by other people, without any problems. However, I do not take any responsibility for anything you decide to do with your phone. The first step is, of course, to find some firmware to upgrade your phone with. Here I have a firmware XXJID, which is more or less a full firmware, has all the files needed, and the XX is the code for the Open European, which includes the standard European language pack. I do recommend flashing the firmware with the same region that you have on the phone. Not only because, of course, you won't have the languages that you need if you don't, but also you may have some little problems afterwards with maybe network settings, things like that. So it's always best to use the same region, although it's not necessary. You can flash any firmware to another region. The next thing you need is MultiLoader. This is version 5.64, the latest at the current time. Once we have that, we need to ensure that our phone is recognized by the computer. Obviously, if the computer doesn't see your phone through the USB cable, it can't send any information to it. So the easiest way to do that is to have keys installed on your computer. And you see here the little picture of my phone connected, so everything is okay. If you are going to use a computer, a laptop that you've never used to connect your phone to before, you will need to ensure the drivers are installed. The easiest way is by installing keys. We don't need keys anymore, we can close it. And step 3 is to ensure all information is backed up on our phone, because every file that we have, messages, photos, music, applications, everything will be wiped clean during the flashing process. So back up anything you need to keep. The next thing to do, step 4, are various checks. First, we need to check that we have no network or SIM locks on our phone. We can do that by entering on the keypad on our phone the code *7465625#, and this will tell us that the network and SIM locks are off. Do not try and flash your phone with those locks on. You are asking for problems. The next thing we check is a full battery. We don't want any power interruptions during flashing. And also, I like to reset the theme on the phone to default Lismore. It might not make any difference, but the only problem I've had in the past was when I had another theme on, I upgraded through keys and I lost all the text in the menus afterwards. So back to Lismore, and then we power off the phone. And step 5 is to remove the SIM card and the micro SD. It's worth mentioning as well that if you're not using a Windows system, XP or Windows 7, 32-bit I believe, do not try and flash the phone using an emulator or a virtual box. That won't work, and you will most likely damage your phone. So once the SIM card and micro SD are removed, we can go into download mode. Step 6, we do this by holding down the volume down key, the screen lock key, and the cool end or the power on off key. We hold those at the same time, those three, and the phone after 2 seconds will go into download mode. Now the phone is ready. We put that to the side. We go back to the computer, and here we want to just check all programs on the computer are closed. We don't want anything interrupting the flashing process. It is memory intensive, so close everything. Check the system tray, make sure the keys tray agent isn't running. Then we can launch our MultiLoader, and step 7, plug our phone into the USB port. You can, if you like, remove all other USB devices from the system. Some people do that. I have my printer, my scanner, my mouse, modem, everything's still attached without problems, so I shouldn't think that's necessary. And here we see at the bottom we have ready. Now we need to click port search, and that will show us ready Lismore, which means the phone is connected and we're ready to go. Step 8 is loading all the files. So we tick here, we check the LSI, and a very important part here, we check only full download. Now you may see some other guides which tell you to tick boot change or maybe even master ROM or differences only. We don't want that. Boot change will flash the bootloader of your phone, which is like the BIOS on the Wave chip. It's a 3-stage bootloader, and that is the program that loads the operating system into the memory of your phone. If for some reason in the flashing process that gets corrupted, you have what is known as a brick, and your phone won't operate. You'll have to take that to service, and they'll have to reload the bootloader with something like a JTAG box. We don't tick the boot change. That means our bootloader is safe. If there's any kind of error with any file during the flashing process, we can just simply reflash it without any problem. Just to confirm that, I have here the Samsung service manual for the Wave. And you can see here it says check full download, and in the picture the boot change is unticked. So only full download, that's all we want. Now we're ready to load our files, so we tick boot, and we find in our Explorer the boot files folder for our firmware. Okay, we go to the next one. It has the same name, it's very easy to find. We go to the apps compressed, the RC1, very easy to find again, has the same name. RC2, the factory FS, the CSC, which is the language settings and files for your phone, and lastly the apps, which can be anything up to 300 megabytes depending on what apps are included, and that's all the files loaded. Now we just want to check once more everything is in the right place, and we are happy with that. And when we are, we will click download. Now step 9 is simply go away, make yourself a sandwich, sit on the toilet, read a magazine, and in a few minutes it will look something like this. All files completed. Now this flashing here took about 8 or 9 minutes because the app file didn't include applications like Need for Speed, which of course is about 100 megabytes. So this was a fairly fast flash. It can take 15 to 20 minutes. All files have loaded successfully. If for any reason here you have an error and it hasn't completed flashing, don't worry about that. Just begin the flashing process from the beginning. I have heard of people flashing 2, 3, 4 times before they successfully flashed. I've never had to do it more than once. At the end of the process, step 10, if you like, the phone will reboot itself and you will see the phone is on and running. That's all. I hope it was helpful. Thank you very much.